It's the Wrong Cat here from the Realm, and we have a new game here for you today. The game is Submerge. It's currently on Kickstarter, and we have been invited, myself and the people you can see on the leaderboard thing in the top right there, have been invited to do some playtesting today with the developers from Germany. They're Icebird Studios. So we've got a few players in the game now. You start off in bases like these, you assemble squads. The aim of the game is to go around shooting these little plant things here, and these give you the resources that you need to buy more units. And you have to fight the other players who are also trying to do the same thing, and also everybody has a limited oxygen supply. And they also have to fight to maintain not only the resources to build more units, but also to have oxygen to stay alive. The oxygen is replenished by killing enemy units. When the enemy units are destroyed, they drop oxygen canisters, and you can use those to replenish oxygen levels. There are also random creatures dotted around the map, like these fish over here you can see being killed. And this is Zaphod here killing these fish and taking the oxygen there, and that is replenishing his oxygen supply. You can see the oxygen is listed here in the top right hand side of the screen, and they've got the resources here as well. These are the resources that they use to build the ships. We're all quite new to this game. We've been playing it for about an hour or so. I just thought I'd dip in here and do a recording and a commentated cast. Now you've got a variety of ships available to you here. That each of these has got a unique activatable ability. These ones here I believe are the healing ships. If you zoom in you can probably see those. They have an ability which allows them to heal nearby units. The Black Widow, you can see there, has a little jumping ability. It can jump into combat very quickly and jump back out again. And there are some units which give you very fast speed boosts, so you get into and out of combat very quickly. And you can see here, units being killed, dropping oxygen canisters, and now Tommy's armies are moving up here to collect this oxygen and replenish his supply. It's a free-for-all format. All players are competing against each other. There are no teams, and at the moment all players farming. And I'm keeping an eye up here in the top left, which is the mini-map in a sort of a sonar type style, which helps to keep a tab on whose squads are where. Let's have a look at what Tommy's got in his army. He's got a Black Widow here. This one I think is the speed boost thing. That unit there is the one that gives you the speed boost. The healers. And this one here, which gives you a little bit of an extra boost to your energy supply. Energy is like mana. Every time you use an ability, you use a little bit of energy. And so by having that in here, he's got a larger tank of energy to use. He can activate more abilities more rapidly. So a little fight going on here. It looks like Master, who is in blue, is going to end up winning this one. Tommy's down to 3 units. He still has 5. Tommy has got to run away here. I'm not quite sure. His Black Widow's about to die as well. He's got still that's the speed boost unit there. He's activated the speed boost, run away, back to his base. He's now going to spend some of his materials and buy some more units, hopefully to replenish his fleet. Hopefully we'll see this appear in a moment. See more units just darting past here. It's quite a frantic, fast-paced game, this. There are no base building, it's all just units moving around. Another little fight going on up here I've just spotted. And this is going on between Zaphod, who was sat here trying to harvest resources, but he was fended off by Master, who's just going to sweep in there and steal them instead. And Zaphod's now been pushed off. Now, at the moment, Zaphod, you can see, is not doing very well at all for resources. All players still doing absolutely fine for oxygen. Nobody panicking just yet. At the start of the game, the oxygen starts to deplete at a fairly slow rate, but as we get further and further into the game, the oxygen will deplete faster and faster and faster. It gets more and more frantic. Everyone's struggling to try and kill their opponents, which is the easiest and best way to get lots of oxygen. Now, these large submarines you see here are very, very hard-hitting, high DPS units with a fairly average amount of health, but they really, really hurt if you get too many of those too close to you. Master's seen those there and fleeing. Zaphod likewise sees these great big bruisers here, and they do make you think twice before engaging them because they're quite hard to kill. Zaphod instead opting to have his healers pop their heals, try and keep his units alive, and then running away like a Frenchman. I'm apologising in advance to any French people in the stream. Now there we are. This is the ability of these Black Widows being used here. I'm not entirely sure what the plan was there. He's trying to jump those in, attack, and then jump back again, but looks like he mistimed it. Good attempt there by Burnt Custard, but I don't think that unit composition is quite sitting right with him just yet. He might want to go and rethink that. Let's see, what's this? The Master is going down here to try and... That's not Master at all. He's going to come and try and inset WP Marshall, who's going down here to try and take out these fish and get a small supply of oxygen, but he's now been cornered by Master Rothman. So he goes north into this pit here. You see those little skulls here. What those mean is that there's a nasty fish up there who will reach up and grab you and snatch your units into the oblivion. But Marshall has speed boost units there. He's activated that and he's managed to get away. Roffelness left with not much because Marshall was able to get rid of most of those fish there before being chased off. Fight going on down here, I see, between Tommy and Zaphod. Zaphod not too keen on this. He's seen Tommy's got those submarines. He's just going to sit here and poke them and make them angry, but I don't think that's probably the wisest of ideas because Tommy has much more firepower here. He's got 5 units in his squad against Zaphod's 4. Zaphod has these pushing units though. I'm not quite sure what he's aiming to do with those. One of the tactics you can use is to try and push those into those little red death pits you can see on the map. I've not seen anybody able to pull those off successfully just yet. I'm intrigued to see what Burntcastle's... This is a mine-laying ship here. These can lay mines. If someone's chasing you, then they can drop mines and it stuns them and does massive AoE damage, but it does rely on them walking into the mines in the first place. Nobody has been eliminated from the game yet. Keeping an eye on those oxygen supplies. You can see only Zaphod is down below the halfway mark. The rest have managed to keep themselves fairly healthy so far. But he's really struggling on resources. I think Zaphod is probably going to be the first out of this particular game. And unfortunately, Burntcast has been caught there between 2 navies, both of which are struggling. He's struggling to get away here. Those Black Widows are not that heavily armoured at all. And Roffelmaster, they're securing some more oxygen at Burntcastle's expense. Zaphod is looking in a bit of trouble now here. He needs to go and get himself some more oxygen. He's going to be getting messages coming up on his HUD saying, oops, you've made some mistakes here. You need to go get some more oxygen. He's got a choice. He can either go up here and fight people, try and destroy their ships, and try and get quite a large amount of oxygen, or he can go down here, and these fish only drop 1 bit of oxygen each. So that'll keep him going for a little while longer. It won't sustain him indefinitely. He's gone down here. He's going for the fish. He's staying away from the players. He has got a much bigger navy now. He's got this nice, powerful submarine here. I forget the names. I'm sorry. I've only been playing this for an hour, so I'm not going to be able to give you too much detailed technical analysis on the units themselves. But he now needs to come and fight for survival here because he's getting down to his last 25% of oxygen, and he's going to be panicking a little bit. He gets a little red flashing lights all over his HUD saying, you're in trouble, you need to fight for some survival going on. But at the moment he's still opting to play very defensively. He's not used to playing aggressively with no base like this. Whilst the units are on these bases, I should mention, they are indestructible, but obviously they can't fight back, and that's when you go in and replenish them. I suspect as we move past pre-alpha, and it should be noted bottom left here, it does say pre-alpha, that there'll be an animation to reflect exactly what's going on there, so you can see units retreat inside the base, and then you know that you can't kill them. Wisely focusing down the Leviathan there, he's managed to kill that off. He's now going to steal the oxygen and flee. There we go. Zaphod has just bought himself a lot of time doing that. Very well played. The Leviathans drop a lot of oxygen when they die. I'm going to call it the Leviathan. I don't remember the actual name. I do apologise. But that's a wise tactic. They're going for those, making them drop. I think they drop 8 oxygen canisters. So that's definitely kept him alive a little bit longer. But he needs to get farming. He needs to be attacking these green plants here, harvesting the resources. His main problem now is not oxygen. He needs some more money to buy some units. Burnt Custard's been chased back to his base, and now the real struggle is going to be between Tommy and Burnt Custard, both of whom are fairly low on oxygen. Looks like Tommy's going for the aggressive play, trying to take out enemy units to try and grab those oxygen canisters. Burnt Custard is currently immobile on his base. He's opting for the safe option, just to give himself a little bit of extra time, going for these fish, trying to get their oxygen off of them. So he's got a little bit more time there. He's missed the canister. He's going to go back and get that, hopefully. Now Tommy's in trouble here. He's down below 100 oxygen. He's depleting at a rate of roughly 5 per second. He's only got a few seconds left. He needs to pop one of Burnt Custard's ships, so he's going to run out of oxygen very, very quickly. He needs to get that one, pop the one at the back on low health, run in there, grab the oxygen. He's kept himself alive for a little bit longer. Now he needs to either fight or run away. What's he going to do? He's staying and fighting a little bit longer. And he has just managed to pop, I think, Burnt Custard's Leviathan. He's now back up into the hundreds for oxygen. He's still not great, but he's alive for a little bit longer. And now Marshall has swept in to try and pick up some remains. He's grabbed some free oxygen there at Tommy's expense. Tommy's in a bit of trouble here. He's down to 3 ships in his fleet, and he only has 150 oxygen to go. Lots happening on the other side of the map here. These two navies both chasing Marshall, both met each other, zooming after him. He's not only going to let him get away. Roffelmaster there chasing after Marshall. Marshall responding in kind, activating his speed boost, running away. Now we have a fight down here between Burnt Custard and Tommy is about to be eliminated from the game. He's run out of oxygen. He was not able to defeat Burnt Custard's unit in time. Meanwhile, Burnt Custard is now going to attack these now AFK units, grab what oxygen he can from them. He's going to run away. He's got to grab that oxygen while he can before Roffelmaster comes in there and steals it from him. He's just managed to get away with his life, activate the speed boost. There are 3 speed boost units there. He's managed to get away, get back into his base before Rothenmaster can attack him. Rothenmaster now has to go and fight elsewhere. So Tommy has now lost the game. The current contender for oxygen count is Zaphod. At the moment, Rothenmaster looking in a very strong position here. He has a lot of oxygen. He was able to get rid of Burnt Custards and Tommy's units in that confrontation there and steal the oxygen. So he's done very well for himself. Actually, Zaphod has a very sizable navy here. 2 speed boost units, 2 of these big damage-dealing Leviathans, a healing unit as well in there. He's giving chase. He's not activating his speed boost just yet. He's holding it in reserve. A wise move. Meanwhile, you see here, Rothenmaster has these 2 units here. These add extra energy reserve, which allows him to activate more of his abilities at once. Zaphod now giving chase. Zaphod has run out of oxygen and is now gone. Left the game. That leaves only 3 remaining: Marshal, Rothenmaster, and Burnt Custard. All of whom in a fairly safe amount of oxygen at the moment, but there's still having a nice fight going on. These are the shield units here. You see them popping those defensive shields. Very, very tight, close quarter battle here. At the moment, it looks to me like Rothenmaster is just about ahead. Marshal's retreating. He lost 2 units. Rothenmaster has managed to pick up some more oxygen. Marshal's not quite sure whether to run or not. He has decided to sit in his base where he is safe for now until he comes back out. He has got plenty of resources to spend on more units. He can afford to lose a few units, and he can play more riskily to try and obtain that oxygen. Meanwhile, Burnt Custard, a lot scarcer on the resources front, and he's a lot lower on the oxygen. Rothenmaster is currently in a fairly safe position here. He has enough resources to at least buy himself a few more units, and he has got enough oxygen to outlast both of the other 2, assuming that they don't get any oxygen off each other. Burnt Custard does not he's not used his speed boost unit. He has 4 speed boosts in there. He could be using those. He's actually using them to pursue Rothenmaster and try and take out the Leviathan and get a huge chunk of oxygen. If he can catch it, he's left it with a little bit of health. All he's got to activate the speed boost and fire the last shots at that Leviathan. He's managed to get it and he's take all the oxygen. Burnt Custard now propelled himself into the lead on oxygen. Rothenmaster's trying to get away, but he has lost all of his speed boost units. He's now lost his mana generating units as well. He needs to get back into that base and spend some of those resources that he has. But he has actually lost a significant chunk. He's not going to have probably more than 4 or 5 units now. He won't be able to have a full fleet of 6, which is the maximum number of units you can have in a fleet. Marshal now coming here on the offensive. He's after Burnt Custards. He's seen him on the radar. He's chasing after him. He's decided to go against his initial reaction. He's now going to hunt fish for more oxygen. I have a fight going down here now between... There's no fight at all, I should say. There's Burnt Custard is hovering outside Rothenmaster's base, waiting for him to come out. He's changed his mind. He's now pursuing Marshal. Marshal running away. Marshal can afford to run away, but only for so long, because Custard has actually got 900. He's nearly at full oxygen. Burnt Custard is doing very well at this, starting to head towards the late stage of the game. You can see the oxygen now depleting a lot faster. We're now over 10 units of oxygen per second disappearing. And Rothenmaster's going to start feeling the pinch of that very soon if he doesn't get back into combat. Marshal staying well away from Burnt Custard's offensive units, hiding in his base. Burnt Custard has got all the time in the world. He can sit here and wait it out. All he's got to do is pop one more of Marshal's units. He has a very weak unit there on the front line, which he needs to pop there and defend. The defensive shields go up, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to lose a few units. So that's a Leviathan been popped as well there from Burnt. So they are both just giving themselves a huge oxygen boost to that little confrontation. Rothenmaster, meanwhile, down to 100. He's just managed to find himself some fish. He's managed to keep himself alive a little bit longer. This conversation is still going on here, and Burnt Custard has decided to turn tail and flee. Marshal back up to full oxygen. Rothenmaster is in trouble. He is harvesting for resources, but his main problem right now is not resources, it's oxygen. He needs to be attacking something which is going to give him some oxygen canisters. There's a free one sitting right there which he needs to find and locate quickly. He's getting all sorts of prompts coming up on his HUD right now telling him, you're running out of oxygen, you're running out of options, go and get yourself some. He's had some fish to attack. Meanwhile, over here we have Burnt Custard trying to get some more resources. He is currently behind on resources. Marshal is ahead. Burnt Custard has, I think, just managed to get enough resources to go back and buy one more unit and replenish his lost one, which he's going to do now. Meanwhile, Marshal's smelling blood. Rothenmaster is on the run. Is he going to get back to his base in time? Has he got enough activatable speed boosts left? He's got a heal. He'll be fine. He'll be able to get back to his base and hide. But he's about to run out of oxygen. He needs to turn around and fight and get an oxygen canister off one of Marshal's units. 60, 50's down. He's got 5 more seconds left to get some more oxygen. He's going to lose. Marshal has just defeated Master Rothenmaster by staying alive for longer. And now Burnt Custard sweeping in to clean up, and the oxygen canisters of Rothenmaster disappear. It's now 1v1 Marshall v Custard. Burnt Custard is on the back foot here. He has only got 400 oxygen. He either needs to take care of some of Marshall's units, or he needs to go and find some canisters from those tasty fish. He's instead opting to get some resources. Again, Marshall is ahead on both resources and oxygen at this point, and he's also farming fish to get himself even further ahead in the oxygen field. Burnt Custard is running out of time here. He's got 18 seconds to find himself some sort of oxygen supply. He's chasing after Marshall's units. He wants to beat them up and steal their oxygen. He's not going to have it because Marshall's hidden inside his base, and Burnt Custard's only got 8 seconds left to go. He's panicking. He needs to go get this fish in the north very quickly. He needs to speed boost up there, attack those, or he's going to lose the game. He's got 1 second remaining. He has just managed to save himself, and oh no, he was a microsecond out. Marshall has won again. And that was really unfortunate. Burnt Custard just managed to miss out on that last oxygen canister, although each of those canisters only giving you about 10 or 20 oxygen each. It would only kept him alive for a few more seconds. There we have it, folks. As I say, the game is available on Kickstarter at the moment. I am not going to recommend that you do or do not back it, because it's not my judgment call to make. All I will do is provide a link to the game in the channel description, or in the video description below, I should say, and it's up to you whether you thought this was worth your investment. Thank you very much indeed. I have been The Wrong Cat.